Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're zeroing in on something really vital, I think, for anyone out on the water, especially if you're in those, beautiful but busy cruising spots.
Like the Bahamas, the Caribbean, places where anchoring isn't always straightforward.
Exactly. We're talking about boat anchor systems, specifically having one you can actually rely on. We've been looking into, the limits of the old ways of doing things.
Guesswork involved, yeah.
And exploring this really interesting technology that seems to promise a safer, more predictable approach.
That's right. Forever, anchoring's involved experience, sure, but also a fair bit of just hoping for the best. And today, with anchorages getting more crowded or when the weather kicks up, that uncertainty, it can turn into real risk fast.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really get into a system called Anchor Guardian, understand how it offers this more precise and proactive way to handle anchoring.
Yeah, proactive is the key word there. And we're basing this on information we've gathered from Concord Marine Electronics about their system.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. When we talk about a reliable anchor system, my first thought is just the anchor itself, digging into the seabed.
Right. But the sources we looked at make it clear it's bigger than that. It's an integrated picture. Everything working together.
Like a chain, I suppose.
Yeah.
Only as strong as the weakest link.
Exactly that. Think about the stresses. You've got high winds, maybe shifting tides, just loads of boats packed in. All that puts pressure on every single part.
Not just the anchor.
No, not at all. The shackle connecting it, the rope or chain, even how it's scowed. A low-quality shackle, maybe an anchor that's a bit small for the boat, any weak link like that, and the whole system could fail.
And, for our listeners who might be involved with charter yachts, maybe in the Bahamas or the Caribbean, this isn't just theory, is it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Our sources really stress this. Reliable anchoring is crucial. For guest comfort, sure, but mainly for safety.
You can just picture it, can't you?
Yeah.
Drifting near a reef, or worse, bumping into another yacht because your anchor dragged. Nightmare scenario.
Precisely. Whether you're dealing with shallow water near coral or maybe a sandy bottom that's hard to get a grip on or just squeezing into a tight mooring field, the risk of dragging or drifting is real. And the consequences can be serious. Damage, environmental impact, safety, it's all linked.
So what are the key pieces? What makes up this reliable system according to our sources? What are the essentials?
Okay, well, number one, a high holding power anchor. And it has to be suited to the yacht's size and type. That's fundamental.
Right.
Then you absolutely need marine grade shackles and swivels. Those connection points have to be bomb-proof.
Makes sense.
You also need a durable anchor, rode the chain and rope combo with the right ratio that helps absorb shock and set the anchor properly.
Okay.
And of course, a windlass that can handle the anchor's size and weight for smooth deployment and retrieval.
Got it. So anchor, connections, rode, windlass. And then there's a fifth element, our information highlights, which leads us into the main topic.
Exactly. Modern anchor monitoring systems. And that's where Anchor Guardian comes in, promising that real-time feedback that, we just haven't really had before.
So this is the shift then, from reacting to problems to anticipating them.
Precisely. Anchor Guardian aims to move anchor management away from just reacting when you notice you're dragging to being proactive, using precise data to spot potential issues before they become big problems.
Yeah.
It takes away a lot of the uncertainty.
Okay, so how does it do that? What's the tech behind this precision? Our info mentions sensor fusion, which sounds complex.
It is pretty sophisticated, yeah. Basically, Anchor Guardian uses data from multiple different sensors. It combines that information using smart algorithms to figure out the anchor's exact position. And we're talking sub-meter accuracy here.
Sub-meter. Wow, that's really precise. Much better than standard GPS on a boat, I imagine.
Oh, vastly better.
Yeah.
It fundamentally changes how sure you can be about where that anchor actually is on the seabed.
So it's not just knowing where it landed. What else does it tell you? What are these capabilities?
Well, the real-time GPS tracking gives you that super accurate location, yes, but the sensor fusion part is key.
Right.
It intelligently combines data. Think highly accurate GPS, accelerometers maybe, sensing movement, possibly even sensors measuring the tension on the road.
Ah, I see. So multiple inputs build a more reliable picture, not just relying on one thing that might be off.
Exactly. More data points mean a more accurate understanding. And then there's the predictive analytics capability mentioned.
Yeah, that caught my eye. That sounds like a huge safety boost.
It really is. The system analyzes all this data constantly. It looks for subtle signs, tiny movements, or changes in force that might indicate the start of anchor drag.
So before it's actually dragging significantly.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It alerts the crew before the anchor has moved far, maybe before you'd even notice visually. It gives you that crucial extra time to react.
That's a big difference. Not just you are dragging, but you might be about to drag. And I assume integrating this with the boat's main navigation displays is important.
Essential. Anchor Guardian is designed to connect smoothly with most existing chart plotters and navigation systems.
Okay.
So you see the anchor data right there on your main screen, alongside your boat's position, depth, all that usual stuff. It gives you a complete picture.
And is it easy to use? Or does the crew need a lot of extra training?
The interface is designed to be intuitive. Pretty straightforward. The idea is you can see the critical info easily and act on it without needing, a PhD in anchor tech.
Right. So summing that up, the big win here is better safety, less risk of accidents, less potential damage.
Yes.
Staying ahead of the curve.
That's the core benefit, yes. That preactive power. It significantly cuts down the chances of dragging in the first place. But even if something does start to happen, having that precise, immediate data means you can react faster and more effectively. It just boosts overall yacht safety considerably.
Okay, I think I get the what and why. Let's dig into the how a bit more. How does it actually work during the anchoring process? Starting when you're actually dropping the anchor.
Right. So as you're levying it out, Anchor Guardian is tracking the anchor's depth, and it knows exactly how much road chain and rope you've paid out.
Yeah.
So you get an accurate scope reading.
Okay. Scope is vital.
Absolutely. And crucially, it gives you an immediate alert the second the anchor touches the seabed. Positive confirmation.
Ah, nice. No more wondering if it's actually down there.
Exactly. And all the while, it's monitoring the anchor's precise GPS position.
So real-time checks at every step takes the guesswork out. Okay, what about once it's set, during anchor watch?
This is where the proactive bit really shines. It's constantly monitoring, looking for those subtle signs of dragging we talked about.
Tiny movements.
Yeah, it tracks the anchor's velocity, how fast it might be moving, even slightly. And the forces acting on it, wind, current, waves.
But you see this
on your electronic chart.
Yeah.
Because it's integrated, you see the anchor's live position right there. You can instantly tell if it's moving outside the safe swing circle you've set.
Wow, okay. So you can literally see it creeping on the screen. That's huge, especially at night or if the weather changes. What about picking it up, weighing anchor?
Yep, it helps there too. It gives you notifications. It can tell you the moment the anchor breaks free from the bottom, when it's away.
Okay.
It can also notify you when the anchor comes into sight at the bow. Visual confirmation, it's coming up.
Useful.
And then a final confirmation once it's properly stowed in its place, so you know everything's secure before you move off.
It really does cover the whole life cycle, doesn't it? Deployment, holding, retrieval.
Yeah.
Now let's circle back to those specific challenges. Bahamas, Caribbean, shallow water, coral heads, currents, crowded bays. How does Anchor Guardian specifically help there?
Well, in those conditions, like you said, shallow water, coral, currents, crowds. A smart, reliable system like this isn't just a nice to have, it's often a necessity.
Well, yeah.
Being able to monitor precisely, make adjustments based on real data, and just trust your anchor setup, that makes a massive difference to how smoothly things run.
Especially for charters, I imagine. Keeps things on schedule, guests happy.
Exactly. And the safety aspect in crowded spots, that's huge.
Yeah, we touched on that. How does the precision help there?
Knowing exactly where your anchor is set and getting those instant alerts if it moves, it drastically cuts the risk of bumping into your neighbors.
Peace of mind in a tight spot.
Absolutely. It just reduces a whole lot of potential stress and, expensive bumps.
And thinking about it from the guest's point of view, if you're the listener, maybe picturing yourself on a charter, knowing the boat is secure must make the whole experience better, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you're not worrying about dragging anchor while you're trying to relax or sleep, you can actually enjoy the beautiful surroundings. It builds confidence.
Yeah, less stress, more relaxation. That's the goal.
That enhanced security translates directly to a better onboard experience. Simple as that.
Okay, sounds great. But practically speaking, integration, how easy is it to add this to an existing boat? Does it work with different types of anchors and shackles?
Good question. The sources say it's designed to integrate pretty seamlessly with most common boat anchors and standard marine grade shackles.
So you don't necessarily need to replace your whole anchor setup.
Generally, no, though obviously you still need good quality shackles and the right anchor for your boat in the first place. Anchor Guardian adds the intelligence on top of a solid foundation.
Right. It enhances a good system, doesn't replace the basics.
Precisely. And in terms of actually using it day to day, the information emphasizes it's user-friendly. Intuitive interface, minimal training needed for the crew.
That's good to hear. Tech is only useful if people can actually use it easily. Our source mentioned Captain D. Carr gave a testimonial. What was their take?
Yeah, Captain Carr apparently praised its precision and reliability. They highlighted how it provided insights about the anchor's behavior, the conditions that you just don't get from traditional instruments. And they felt it significantly improved the vessel's overall safety. Real-world feedback like that is pretty telling.
It really is. Okay, let's maybe tackle some specific questions listeners might have. We've kind of covered these, but let's nail them down based on the FAQs in our material. First, integrates with any boat anchor.
Well, it's designed for broad compatibility, so yes, it should integrate smoothly with most common anchors and anchor kits.
Okay, and is it difficult to operate? Complicated?
No, that seems to be a key point. User-friendly interface, minimal training needed, designed to be intuitive.
Gotcha. And the accuracy, again, just to be clear?
Sub-meter accuracy for anchor position tracking. That's the claim. Really precise.
And does it definitely alert you about dragging?
Yes. Proactive alerts for potential anchor dragging. That early warning capability.
Okay. Why is it so good for crowded anchorages specifically?
Because that precise, real-time tracking really helps minimize the risk of collisions with other boats nearby. Reduces the uncertainty factor.
Right. And finally, is it just for smaller boats or suitable for large yachts too?
Absolutely suitable for large yachts. It's designed to scale and provide benefits across a wide range of vessel sizes.
Okay. So wrapping this up, it really feels like Anchor Guardian presents a pretty strong case as a valuable tool, especially for those charter operations in places like the Bahamas and Caribbean.
I think that's fair to say. It's a significant step forward in anchor management.
Yeah.
Moving from reacting to being genuinely proactive and informed.
Yeah.
And like you said, for charters in those busy areas, it's not just about protecting the boat. It's really about enhancing guest safety and just the overall quality of their experience.
Makes sense. And for our listeners, if this sounds interesting, if you want to learn more, our sources mentioned you can contact Concord Marine Electronics directly.
That's right. They offer a no-obligation consultation. The number is +1 954 779 1100.
Okay, +1 954 779 1100. Or you can visit their support page online, concordelectronics.com/support. We'll put that link in the description too.
Yeah, definitely worth looking into if you want that extra layer of safety and, frankly, peace of mind when you drop anchor.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Imagine knowing, with that kind of precision, exactly where your anchor is anytime, and getting alerted to potential trouble before it really starts. How could that level of insight change your time on the water? Whether you're running the boat or just enjoying the ride, something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.